let's get into some examples. Now, if these look familiar to you, it's because we just did them in Chapter 1. But we just said increase and decrease at that point. We didn't start talking about assets, liabilities, and we didn't do debits or credits or any of that kind of stuff. But we did actually cover this already. All right, so Joe Smith deposits $20,000 in a bank account for VideoMax in return for shares of stock. We did this. It was cash and stock, right? So it's an increase to cash and also an increase to the common stock account. So it might help you to put the pluses and minuses in here. So you might want to throw those in as we go through this. So we've got cash and common stock, right? Those are the two accounts. We've got an increase to cash. The business is getting $20,000 in cash, and the business is giving out $20,000 in common stock, or has $20,000 in common stock contributed, capital contributed. So there you go. There's your $20,000. Okay? We're all good. We have our debits equal our credits. All's good. VideoMax buys land for $5,000. So, starting with cash, $5,000 of cash has to come out, right? Oop. Hang on, I'm a little ahead of myself here. All right, $5,000 in cash has to come out. We've got a decrease to cash to pay for the land, and we've got the account of land. Land is increased, so it's a debit. VideoMax buys supplies for $2,000, agreeing to pay the supplier in the future. All right, so the VideoMax is getting supplies. We're dealing with supplies, and we're dealing with accounts payable. Those are the two different things we're dealing with. So let's put those in there, supplies and accounts payable. We'll hit that under the liability section. All right, so we've got a debit to supplies of $2,000 because we're getting supplies. We're increasing that account, and we're increasing our liabilities by $2,000. There's your credit. VideoMax earns rental fees of $8,000 receiving cash. All right, so they're getting $8,000 in cash, and they're doing their job. When they do their job, that's called revenue, right? So here's the cash. We're debiting our cash for $8,000, and we've got rental revenue here, a credit of $8,000 because, right, revenue accounts increase stockholders' equity with credits. Okay, VideoMax paid wages of $3,000 and rent of $1,000. So right off the bat, we know that we have to be $4,000 less in cash because we just paid them. And we've got two expenses. We have rental expense and wage expense. So those are expenses. They're a stockholder's equity item. Wage expense, rent expense. $3,000 debit, $1,000 debit here. Right? $4,000 and $4,000 I balance. All is good. Right? And expenses inherently kind of bring the value of stockholders' equity down because it's an offset to revenue. All right. VideoMax paid $1,500 to creditors on account, so we paid a bill. Right? That means we have $1,500 less cash, so that's going to be a credit to cash. And we're going to reduce our liabilities as well. It'll be a decrease to our liabilities of $1,500. There we go. Debit and a credit. All right. At the end of the month, the cost of supplies on hand is $700. Okay, we did that on the board last time, but let's do it on screen this time. So the idea here is that we need to bring this account down from $2,000 to $700 because really, we use supplies this month, but we don't know how many until we see what we have left. The idea is that we have $2,000 in supplies, like in a cabinet, if you will. And then we don't pay attention to how much we're using all during the month. At the end of the month, we go check, and we go, oh, wow, there's only $700 in supplies left. We must have used $1,300 worth. So we have to reduce the supplies account by $1,300 here to get to the real balance, the new balance there, $700. And this using up of supplies is an expense. So you'd have a debit to your supplies expense of $1,300. All right, VideoMax paid $2,000 in dividends to stockholders. So we bring our cash down, $2,000. And we have the account of dividends. Right? And dividends are inherently a negative, so they're going to be a debit. All right, a couple of things I want to point out to you here. Debits and credits must equal each other. If you get 2,000 on one side, you better have 2,000 on the other. Or, you have 2,000 and you have maybe 1,500 and 500. You can have multiple things, multiple credits or multiple debits, but they have to balance. Right? The amounts have to be the same. And you have to have at least one debit and at least one credit with every transaction. All right. At this point, what you would do is you would subtotal them, right? We talked about this before with T counts. You'd add up the left side, you'd add up the right side, and you'd subtract them from one another. So we'd subtotal all of our accounts, $15,500 in there, $500 credit balance in here, and so on. Oops. Okay. All right, so here's an example. Same thing. I would set you to doing this on your own, but I will leave it in here and you guys can kind of follow. Well, here, I'll give you the solution. You do it on your own. See if you get to this. See if you get to the same numbers. Okay, you will need these numbers for an example that we're going to go through shortly. All right, what is a journal? All right, we'll just put them all up there. Oh, too much, too hard. All right, what is a journal? The idea is that all month long things are happening. You're paying bills, you're receiving money, you're doing jobs, you have expenses, you're paying out dividends maybe, people put money in the business. All these things are happening all month long. And they're called transactions. And they usually have a document that's associated with them along the way, right? Whether it's a bill you got in the mail or something like that. Sorry. All right, when you get those documents and all those transactions are happening, what you're doing is you're recording them with those debits and credits in the journal, the general journal. You're writing them down. You're doing the debit, the credit, and then at the end of the day, we're going to be posting them to ledgers. All right, so, how that works, we did this example before. We bought supplies on account for $100, right? Debit supplies, credit accounts payable. That's not a formal journal entry. That's just a T account. It's a tool to help you understand how to do debits and credits at this point. But the way the formal journal entry would look is in the general journal is right here. What you'd have is you'd have a date. I think I skipped the dates on the left-hand side here. Okay, we debit supplies and we credit accounts payable. And you'd have a debit column, you'd have a credit column, and the debit would be to the left and the credit would be to the right. And you always do them in that order, debits then credits. Okay, that's how the formal journal entry for here would work. Debit supplies, credit accounts payable. All right. So let's look at a set of transactions. We'll go through them just to kind of solidify you guys in this debit credit knowledge. First, I'd say every time you do one of these, I would draw your T accounts on the side just so you can follow along. All right, your pluses and your minuses. Really, the only one you have to remember is assets, because you remember the other ones are opposite that, right? So if you remember debits increase an asset and credits decrease an asset, plus minus, then you just remember the other two are the other way around. All right, so let's look at these. Received $12,000 contribution from Brett London in exchange for common stock. Well, you're dealing with cash, you're dealing with stock. So cash is an asset, you're going to debit cash, and you're going to credit common stock, stockholders' equity item. There you go. I know you can't see that, sorry, there. All right, that is the formal way of writing it in the journal entry. Purchased office supplies for $860 and paid cash. Well, you got office supplies, that's an asset, so we're going to debit office supplies. And we paid cash, so that's going to be a credit to an asset. So let's take that. Oops. Yep, let me move myself a little bit here. I forgot I gave you kind of a little drawing. There you go. $12,000, $12,000. All right, so we debit supplies, we'll go back to this example. Debit supplies for $860. Credit cash for $860. Purchased equipment on account. On account makes you think what? Accounts receivable or accounts payable. In this case, we owe someone. So we're going to be dealing with an accounts payable. But we got equipment. So equipment is an asset. So we get two accounts, equipment and accounts payable. We're getting equipment, that's an asset. And we're getting a liability of accounts payable. That's going to be your credit because you're increasing it. So debit equipment. Move myself a little again. Debit equipment, credit accounts payable. Perform services for a client on account. All right, on account. Somebody owes us money. Accounts receivable in this case. Accounts receivable is an asset, so we're going to be debiting accounts receivable. And when we do our job, that's stockholders' equity, right? That's revenue. So debit accounts receivable, credit service revenue. I'll move myself back to the top here. All right, paid rent expense of $600 and utilities expense of $410. Well, expenses are going to be your debits, right? Stockholders' equity item, those two different expenses, and you got to pay them, so you're going to have to reduce your cash, right? So you get debit rent expense, debit utilities expense, credit your cash. 19th, borrowed $7,500 in cash, signing a notes payable. All right, so we got cash, and we have a liability. We have notes payable. So we're increasing our cash by $7,500, and we're increasing our notes payable by $7,500. Received in advance $700 for services to be performed next month. Okay, this is a new one. We got cash, so let's get that. We got cash of $700. We're increasing it. We didn't talk about this yet. Unearned revenue. Unearned revenue is when someone gives us cash in advance of our performing a service. So let's say somebody gave me $1,000 to mow their lawn for the whole summer, and they gave it to me in like May. I would have received the cash, and I owe them the service of mowing their lawn. And until I do that, until I mow the lawn, I have a liability to them because I owe them. Liabilities mean you owe someone something. It's not necessarily cash. So we have a debit to cash. We're going to perform whatever service it is that we do next month. So there's your liability of unearned revenue, $700. All right, and pay the liability from July 5th. Okay, let's look back July 5th. Oh, I moved myself. We owed $2,200, so we're going to pay that bill now. So we have accounts payable with a credit balance of $2,200. We're going to pay it off. We're going to debit it. We're going to reduce the liability. And we lose cash too, right? Because that's how we pay it. Now, I know I went through these really fast, but I also know that you can pause and rewind me, so that's why I'm not reiterating things. All right, so take your time going through these. I promise you, the more you do them, the more comfortable you get. Ooh, okay, pause.